Alrighty, hello and good morning, everybody. Jenny Lynn Colby here. How's everybody doing today on this lovely Thursday morning? Uh, Today's topic is on the subject of attachment. And attachments are one of those things that isn't necessarily a bad thing, and what are those attachments creating for you in your life? One of the books that I love, or the ideology that I love to reference when I think about attachments, is is actually called The Five Levels of Attachment by Don Miguel Ruiz. I believe that one's by Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. And like we can have varying levels at which we're attached to something, where there's like a very loose attachment or no attachment at all the way up to something as like intense as like, have you ever seen those like really intense sports fans that and this is no dig and no judgment against really intense sports fans if you happen to be one. But just for like example's sake, there are some fans that are like so invested in the outcome of the game, the outcome of the team. Like they will get into like fights at the actual game, like in the arena or in other places over their team. It's like this like sense of identity and this sense of belonging and can't miss a game, and it's like kind of the end of the world. And this doesn't just happen with sports teams. That's just one extreme example that I think a lot of us have seen on TV or in the media. So it's just a reference for you. So again, not a dig to anyone who happens to be that level of like intensely attached to their sports team. If that's what works for you, floats your boat, keep doing it. And like, what's it creating for your life? Because like sometimes people can make things, people outside of them, so much greater than them, and like those people don't even know you exist. So it's awesome that you're contributing to them receiving a paycheck in a roundabout way. Like maybe it's a music artist and you're like a rabid, raving fan, and you always like go to their concerts and buy their music and that sort of thing. So maybe you might be contributing to that in some form or fashion. The people they put their pants on one leg at a time, just like you, and oftentimes they don't even know you exist. So again, if that's what works for you, go for it. And my question for you is like, what is that creating for your life? What is that actually contributing to the creation of your life? Is that actually working for you? Or is it something that's actually destroying the true creation and generation of your life? So anywhere we have attachments like this, whether it be, material things like jobs or cars or clothes or people or anywhere, anytime we have any sort of attachment to anything outside of ourselves and make that thing greater than us in some way, or allow it to become a distraction in some way, what is that actually creating for your life? And anytime you kind of put yourself into some sort of polarity, so you are aligning and agreeing with that thing, and maybe even putting it on a pedestal, which we all know if you put something or someone on a pedestal, get knocked down. um, or even resisting and reacting. Like there's no choice when you're on those opposite ends of the spectrum, when you are being polarized by that thing. And so I want to share one of my favorite tools with you that you can really use for anything, um, and especially as it relates to being attached, because you could be attached to being a good mom or not being a bad mom. You could be attached to having a specific career. You could be attached to only buying a certain brand of car or clothes or whatever it might be. And again, like those things can contribute to you. There's a difference between being in the flow, and I won't use the word neutral because neutral is actually different. There's a difference between being in the flow and being attached or resisting an attachment to something or someone. And so one of my favorite tools actually comes from a body of work called Access Consciousness. And that tool is called Interesting Point of View. And the way that you use it, because the tools are designed for you to use for you, on you, to create your life as greater. So if you notice yourself, maybe something didn't show up the way you wanted it to, or the way you thought it would, you can actually use that when you notice yourself starting to get upset or kind of like looping around your thoughts and you feel like you can't let that thing go. Or really when you're just not in like that flow state where you are happy and you are joyful and things are ease for you, you can say to yourself, interesting point of view. I have this point of view. And it acts as what some people call a pattern interrupt. And it just kind of also what some people call the pause. The gift is in that silence. The gift is in the pause before you react. Anything that puts you into reaction takes you out of being present and takes you out of actually having choice. So that little pattern interrupt of, interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Then after that, you can ask, what else is possible here? Or is this actually true? Or what do I actually know here? What am I actually aware of? What is this sensation of anger or upset or frustration or whatever it might be telling me? What's the gift in this? So if you can get into the pause and the silence, then you can actually have some space to ask a question, and not the questions that we're taught to ask when we're in school, right? We're not looking for an answer or a formula. This is not a 1 + 1 = 2 or an A + B = C sort of thing, because that's not the way the universe is designed and the way the universe actually works. Okay? This is more about giving you the gift of you, your intuition, your awareness, your presence, your choice, so that you're not at the effect of those things that you happen to think you're attached to or are resisting being attached to, so that you actually have the gift of one of the most powerful things you do have, and that is your choice, because you always have a choice, even when you think you don't have a choice, and not choosing is still a choice. So I wonder what else could be possible for you if you explored playing with this tool, Interesting Point of View. And you can do it, like, even if you don't get that you're like upset about something or attached to something or spiraling about something, you can actually play with this with like all of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions that might come up. Because a lot of times those thoughts and those feelings and those emotions, because of the way the universe works and everything is connected, those most often aren't even yours. You're just energetically very aware and energetically picking up on everything and everyone else that you're connected to. So this is just one tool that you can play with if you so choose. And I'm actually really inspired to do another multi-part series on each of those 5 levels of attachment. So look for that on my YouTube channel. It's just youtube.com/Jennifer Lynn Coley. I'll put it down in the comments. But look for that series coming up. I already have one out there on the 4 agreements. So I'll put that link in here as well. But the 5 levels of attachment is coming. And interesting point of view. How much fun can you have? How much more ease and space can you create for you in your life with that tool? And even if you don't choose to use that tool and you choose something else, what gift is actually available for you in your life if you choose not to be at the effect of the things that you think that you are attached to? See you next time, my friends.